Welcome once again to another one of my videos. This is XF Stuff, of course, and I know that it has been quite some time since I've last made a video, but I have been really busy with school and work, as I'm also working a part-time job. That's the reality of today's world. So I thought about doing a video about a game that I'm actually playing. I have been playing for about 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's going to be 3 weeks soon. It's called Forge of Empires, and it is an online browser strategy game, just like Tribal Wars or Gripolis or games of that sort. Maybe you've heard of it. From what I've understood until now, this is only a beta version out, and there are some videos about it on YouTube, but it's not like a review, or I mean most of those videos are made like promotional videos from people that call themselves journalists or whatever, game reviewers, and they're actually just ass kissers. So I'm going to be a bit more um, well, I'm not going to be that nice to this game as some other people have been, because I have played other games of its type, and I have to honestly say that this one is weaker from a lot of points of view. Alright, good. So what is the main point of this game? As you can see, this looks like your average medieval game with all sorts of houses and um, buildings that resemble either medieval or, in this case, Iron Age, like the ancient Roman age architecture and stuff like that. The point of this game is to evolve from the what's the name of the first stage? Let's see, the Stone Age, exactly. So you start off at the Stone Age with just a tribal community and the hut, and then you evolve yourself through this technology tree that you can see right here, um, all the way to the colonial age. This is the last one in the game at this point. I've seen videos when only the late Middle Ages were implemented in the game as the last age. So I'm guessing that these people are actually trying to make this a fully evolutional strategy game, as we've currently or maybe seen before in games such as Age of Empires or I don't know, others. There are certain problems with this game that I'm going to address. I'm currently at the beginning of the early Middle Ages, which I find a bit odd that they are named like this, because they've made early Middle Ages, then the High Middle Ages, which I have no idea what that means, and then the Late Middle Ages, which I would have honestly called maybe the Renaissance, because after this one they already jumped to the Colonial Age, and I think that they've skipped something in the meantime, because gunpowder and optics, those were the Renaissance times, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as my memory serves me in history, which I know a bit about because I quite like it. Good, let's just go back to the game. First off, let's start with what is good about the game. The game has wonderful graphics, as you can see right here. The attention to detail is quite nice, and I'm currently playing the video at a lower resolution just so that I'm not, it makes it faster for me to process the video and upload it to YouTube, because I'm going to give you a 720p experience anyway, so there's no point in recording at any larger resolutions. Also, I haven't still changed my computer in the meantime, for those of you who do know me and my videos. So yeah, it's still chugging along. Like uh, I have to buy a new one. Good. So the graphics are pretty damn nice. Let's just go ahead and start the battle, because maybe this would be the next thing that we would consider. Uh, Something that I'm not liking is the fact that the amount of neighbors that you have at one point, because this is the menu right here, right down here, right? Um, if you really haven't played this game, it's like you've got these 9 buttons right here to build the global, which where you can see your rankings, your guilds, and your guild information. The research button, where and new technologies menu, where we've been, the continent map, which is something really interesting and positive, I might add. The army management, of course, where you can see your troops. These are divided between attacking armies, defending armies, and of course the unit pool that can be a lot bigger. You know, you can have lots of units, but only just two standing armies, the defending and the attacking ones. All the other troops that you have are actually just, you know, sitting around at home enjoying their beer. Good. Then we've got the inventory where, of course, this is implemented because sometimes you get stuff from other people or maybe from quests, and it gets stored in here. There are also wonders in this game, like you see here, the Tower of Babel, the Statue of Zeus, and the Colosseum, which boggle my mind how I have to buy them and build them. It's like this game is all over the place. It's really not that easy to get into it. Although they have tried, some elements are quite easy. Then there's the trading button, to which we will explain a bit more later. The messaging center, that is pretty clear, and then the forum, which the forum just opens a link in your browser to the game forums. Good. Let's just go ahead and show you the graphics for the battlegrounds. I want to tag this guy because he's in a guild. Let's just look for some. Oh, wait. Let me just look for somebody that isn't in a guild. I mean, like this guy right here. Right. So he's got two spear fighters, which are one age behind me, behind my units. So I'll obviously just murder this guy, just walk all over him. Now the battlefield is like, as you might have noticed, like in strategy games such as Heroes of Might and Magic and other strategy games. My only problem is that it is very simplified, and it does do a lot of hand holding throughout the single player campaign, which was the continent map that I will get into, and the fact that, now let me just turn on the sound effects at least, and the fact that the mechanics are really simple of this game. Good. So there are 5 types of units, and I currently have 3 on the map. I've got the archers right here, which they get bonus when they are on rocks. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because the first short-ranged units, like because this is actually a short-range type of units, were the slingers, and maybe I thought, okay, so it's pretty logical that a slinger, which is on top of some rocky formation rocks, might have a tactical advantage, you know, like unlimited ammunition or better ammunition, whatever. I have no idea. But why are archers better on rocks? I have no idea. Maybe the idea would be that it would provide a defensive bonus, but no, it's actually an attack bonus, right? So it's not like they're taking cover behind those rocks. It's just an advantage. So that makes absolutely no sense anymore after the first age, which is the Bronze Age. I'm not taking the Stone Age as an age because it's really not. Nothing happens there. Good. And then we've got the heavy infantry, which in this case are the legionnaires and these guys get a bonus when they attack light melee units, and a defensive bonus when they're just on grassland. I mean, just in open field, which I'm guessing could be okay because, you know, obviously they are heavy armored, right? But I would have given that advantage to the cavalry. Really, I would have really given that advantage to the cavalry. So these spots right here on the map are made out of different types of terrain bonuses, and then of course there are the light melees, which in my case are the soldiers. My enemy have spear fighters, and they get defensive bonus in forests and in bushes, which is pretty damn logical. Okay, so I like this one. And of course they can do more damage to the fast units, which also, like, for the first stages is okay, but when you get fast units on horseback, you know, like heavily armored units, then it starts to become a bit less logical, so to say. Okay, so let's just go ahead and kill these guys. Also, until now, I haven't actually checked because I haven't been playing it that much. But until now, every unit only has 10 hit points. which I find a bit sad, to say the least. I mean, even if you're in, I mean, this was probably done to make sure that um, people like from the early Middle Ages or late Middle Ages don't farm up on other guys, although that doesn't apply because the attack and defense attributes of each unit increases with each age, so that actually doesn't help. So this guy is actually in the Bronze Age right here. He's just a beginner. I could plunder Sabotage his city, but he's got no production done or anything. So yeah, I was just meaning to explain to you the battle mechanics and a bit of the battle mechanics and how that works. I could actually just show you more. Like, there are the 5 groups, right? The fast units, which are mainly cavalry, the heavy units, the heavy melee units, the light melee units. Then there's the long-ranged units like ballistas, catapults, and such, and the short-ranged units, which you've seen in the game. So from that point of view, the game makes little to no sense, as the attack and defense, as you can see, also the range and the movements, keep getting improved from age to age, but their hit points not. So I'm guessing this is a way of limiting the amount of damage that players from different ages can do to inferior age players, which, you know, it's I don't know, it's not working. In my opinion, it's not working. It makes little to no sense that the units always have 10 hit points, no matter what unit and no matter what age. I'm hoping that they will come up with a better solution to this. And since I haven't played like until the colonial age right now, I'm not an expert and I can't say if those things change or not. Okay, so let's get back into explaining the game. Um, I'll give the last positive at the end because I feel like that should be the best idea. Okay, so you've got the rank right here up on this upper bar. Then you have the total population that you've got and the free population, the available population, because this time around production buildings require population. So this is a production building right here, it's a butcher, and if I try to sell it, I'll just get back a bit of my gold and resources. No, don't escape. And of course 66 of my population will get freed, so I can use them later on in the game. You've got coins or gold that you can use as a primary resource, and supplies, which also do make sense a bit later on in the game, but it's not like the economic system was tweaked or anything. They're trying to make it complicated but simple at the same time, which I find a bit stupid in my opinion. You either make a good strategy complicated game with good resource management, or you don't, or you just make something like Tribal Wars or Police or something along those lines. Actually, Tribal Wars had better economic system than this has right now, which is a bit sad to say the least. Good. Then there are medals, which you win from the PvP tournaments. I'll explain just in a bit. And of course the diamonds, which you can buy with real money. Um, it's quite expensive, as you get, I think, 270 diamonds. Let me just check. Right. Oh, no, actually I won't check because it will open the site and the website, and I don't want that. But it's quite expensive. I think like $5 gets you 300 coins, and if you go to one research, for example, in the early Middle Ages, which is just the second, actually it's the third after the Iron Age, it's the third age, um, just one technology costs 1,000. So if you can imagine yourself paying $15 for one technology, uh, and there are, I don't know, hundreds, I think there are hundreds, I can't say for sure. Also, something on the negative side is the fact that it makes almost no sense whatsoever when you develop um, certain technologies. Like, for example, okay, so in this case, leatherworking allows you to make tanneries. Okay, that's actually just okay. So here it is, shoemaker. Okay, so you can make shoes if you develop leatherworking. Okay, that makes sense. Mercenaries are bought from, but the police give you cobbled roads. Why? Police technology gives you cobbled roads. This makes no freaking sense whatsoever. I mean, some of these technologies are actually Bridges give you an expansion because of course you have to expand the map. Uh, you begin with just a small town and you can expand it to the whole map, which I'll show you in just a bit. And crop rotations and fertilization and monarchy also gives you expansion. Okay, maybe monarchy would work in that regard, but fertilization and crop rotation, that would be more like a food resource if you had it in the game, but we don't have it in the game. So some of these technologies look like they've just been taken from the history book, um, th th from the history dictionary, and just thrown in the game, making little to no sense whatsoever. Good. So let me just show you how you can build, or I don't know. You can move around your units, your buildings, and the light, the dark green spaces are obviously still locked, while around them is just space that you will never be able to use. So I'm actually, I haven't unlocked a lot of land until now, but it's okay, and I'm handling it. A very good idea that I'm giving to the producers, developers, free of charge at this point, is to actually allow players to move their buildings outside of their area of influence, just to let them move their buildings around and rearrange their cities. I mean, right now I've got a lot of expansions because as you hit later ages, you need a lot of resources to build your stuff, and you can't really plunder your way through this game because it's made really, the handhelding done in this game is actually stupid, and it's quite annoying to experienced players that want a challenge, and they want to be able to kill people that don't want a challenge and don't. I mean, this game has been made for children that want to try a game and don't want to lose. It's just as simple as that. It makes no other sense whatsoever. But coming back to my idea, allow players to move their buildings outside of their construction zones, just to move them around. Because if you've got fully buildings, if you haven't got 16 squares free, like I've got here, for example, right here. Actually, these are just 12. 12 would also be good, but if you haven't got at least 16 squares free in your town, there's the time needed that you uh, move around your buildings is going to be horrendously big, and I hate that. Good. So just allow us to put our buildings right here, rearrange our city, and then put them back. Like make them inactive, or as if they weren't there, but just let us move them there and then back in. That would make a lot of sense. You can also buy expansions by use of money, of diamonds, which is pretty cheap, like I'm guessing $3. Actually, that's not cheap. That's really not cheap. Or from victory points if you get the amount of required. Let me just showcase this and buy an expansion right here. This hasn't really helped me a lot because I did have a lot of space already in my free space in my town. But yeah, okay, so coming back to the game, there are types of buildings. There are houses, which start with huts, right? Good. And houses produce money in time. So can I just, okay, exactly. Houses produce money in time depending on the house, and also give you population. Population which is needed for the production and the goods buildings, as they need population to function. And the production building just make your supplies. So stop doing that. Yes, it's in full screen. Let me play now. The production building, supplies building just give you supplies, and of course there are special resources in the game, 5 per age. I will showcase them right now. You get to know what these 5 per age resources are, even from the get-go, from the start of the game, and you generally need these for researches. And for building wonders. I'm not sure if you'll need them for special buildings, or you meld your units later on in the game. It might be. The first 5 are these, and then the first 5 over here. The next 5 are from the early middle. Actually, these are from the Iron Age, and these would be the early Middle Ages that I need to start making maybe in the future. Good. Then there are the entertainment buildings, because your population needs to be happy. At this point, my population is happy. they have a provided happiness, a demand for happiness, and of course the productivity, which can increase if you've got additional happiness in your city. To one productivity increases 120%. That is a good deal, I think. You can build these buildings that give you happiness, I'm guessing, like theaters and also different decorations. These also give you stuff. Good. Then we've got the military buildings, which I only have the 3 for 2 for iron and 2 by 5. That's 15 building. That's 10 buildings exactly. I only have the 10 for the iron and Bronze Age. Exactly. Good. Also, roads can be built special, although these could have easily been given to the decorations. The main part is that you need a road connecting all of your buildings to your main castle, to your town hall, so to say. This is your town hall where you can manage a lot of stuff like your profile and also see what happened in the game. And also, of course, the expansions. Now, I don't want to cover everything in this game. I'm just covering stuff and telling my opinion on them. Uh, it's good enough to have population, gold, supplies, and happiness, and also the special resources. That is good enough. But a game such as this wants to be, to make itself look like, is actually a bit, how should I say this? This is not enough. This is actually too much too simple, especially because of the fact that you only have two standing armies, the attacking army and the defending army, and each army has only 8 units, and as I said, the army composition is a bit the composition is good. The bonuses that they get is pretty stupid. Most often than not, I find that the cavalry is the weakest actually for these two ages, for the Iron and Bronze Age. The cavalry was by far the weakest unit that I could have, and I never bothered making them because their only thing is that they can go fast in and make some damage, but they are the first to fall because they get absolutely no bonus against no defensive bonus, and the only bonus that they do get is against heavy. No, it's actually against short-ranged units, which makes sense. Is actually quite logical, but you get no defensive bonus, and all of the other 4 units can actually decimate you on the battle map. So that helps you. That does not help you at all. Also, the fact is that you only need these special resources for research, which I also find quite stupid. I mean, I would have maybe wanted to use lumber for certain buildings, not only the one that's okay. Coming back to the game, let's just go ahead and see the continent map, which is kind of a single player map. As you can see, I'll just show you. So you start right here at the bottom, and there are certain provinces that you can win. At first, scout, explore, and then win. Just win over, and they give you stuff like the first province gave me a bonus to production of lumber, which you should take because it's not a bonus. It's not like you make I don't know, you make 1 lumber from the building every 4 hours. If you don't have the bonus, if you have the bonus, you make 4 pieces of lumber. So it's not a bonus. It's actually a very big bonus, right? So it's 4 times the amount. That actually makes it that there's no sense in making any other special goods buildings unless you've got the territories to help you. And in this case, for Bronze Age, I had trees and the vineyards, the grapes. Good. Also, there are these towers which you unlock, and these open up the PvP tournaments. And this is the Bronze Age tower, which you gain points from battles when all of your troops are, or actually all of them are from the Bronze Age. If you've got just one Iron Age unit and it dies, I think it just counts as being an Iron Age fight, although the other ones were Bronze Age units. Good. So there are also rewards that you can get, like, so besides the tower and the special resources, you can get expansions from conquering provinces, and also just loot, like in this case right here. Good. this is where I'm at right now, and I'm guessing that I'm done with the Iron Age, and I'm going into the early Middle Ages province right now in 5 hours. This does take a lot of time to explore. And let me just show you the provinces. There are more territories that you can fight. At this point, I can showcase you none of them, but you get the idea. And oh, looks like my production buildings will be done in just a second. I can show you what those do. So there's a lot of hand-holding done in the continent map, especially at the beginning of the map, of the game, like in the Bronze Age. All of the territories that you have to win are quite easy to win, either by attacking them with your units or by giving some special resources to the AI, and that will win you over. You will negotiate and win over the map. This is the rest of the map that we've got here. As you can see, there's a lot of it, so I'm guessing that the game provides you with months of gameplay just at the single player part of it. But the best thing about it should be the multiplayer, right? Because it's a browser game, a lot of people play it. That is not true. Like as you've seen, I've got 67 neighbors at this time, and at one point when I was being a lot more aggressive and attacking my neighbors a lot more often than I should have, maybe, I don't know, the amount of neighbors that I had went down to just 20, because as I've said, they are hand-holding players. They're uh, letting them win or play in peace, um, although they don't deserve to, right? And that actually makes it so that the only way that you can okay, the only way that you can get for a guild, people to play with you, is to actually go to the global and the ranking system and just hunt for people. Like, this guy right here, Apollo, he doesn't have a guild. I'll just invite him to mine. So that's how things work. Also, my guild is Phalanx Viridis, and I'm on which, I don't know. I'm on the last continent, because there's continents or maps. If you're interested to play in my guild, just send me a message and I'll invite you. Good. This is the production menu for the normal supply buildings. You get 5, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour, 8 hours, or 1 day productions cycles. And also, if you make a 5-minute production and you wait 10 minutes to pick it up, then it's gone bad, and you can actually, your time was wasted. So I usually just go for the 1 hour ones. There is also a wiki for this game where you can get a lot of the information that you need about it. And the vineyards actually have production cycles of uh, 4 hours, 8 hours, 1 day, and 2 days. And of course, the more time you give for production, the less production you get for that given time. That also happens for the normal supply buildings. Okay, good. I don't know if there's anything more to go around. I mean, the game is not finished. It's in a beta stage, but at this point, the way that it looks is frankly not what I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting something that allows you to, the main problem of these games, of this genre, is the fact that if you're a new player, or somebody that starts off next to players that play daily a lot of hours and maybe invest real guild in the game, and they buy power, you will get absolutely stomped by the others, right? So this game actually tries to limit that, but it does so excessively. This cannot be considered a multiplayer game. I mean, in the guild, and I'll show right now, I mean, my guild is, okay, so something happened. Okay, right, so that happens. I mean, in the guild, there are no discussions. There is no point in people defending other people, in people attacking other people. You cannot do that. This is a gratified multiplayer game. Let me just go ahead and switch that back to full screen. This is a gratified multiplayer game, but actually works just as a single player game. So there's almost no sense of multiplayer or massive multiplayer uh, gaming experience to this game. Okay, good. So that has been all. I will leave you guys with the music a bit because it is quite nice. They did do a good job with the music. And yeah, thanks for watching and listening, and I will see you guys next time.